morning, dog. Oh, good morning, Lindsay. Good morning, Leon. Good morning, Ro. I play piano so much worse when I'm cold. I mean, I think this is probably true for everybody. You just lose a lot of dexterity. I feel like I'm having to think extra hard. Like I'm having to send the signal to my hand to move like twice or something before it actually budges. Some of the dexterity is gone. But I can still play. Aww. Thanks, Liana. You know where that photo actually was? That photo was above my door walking into my room. It's happening slowly, right? Like I can't just do everything really quickly. I can't like have the corner decorated quickly. It'll probably happen very slow, but it'll happen. It'll happen? Question mark. I'm trying. I'm making an effort. Thanks for noticing my effort, Liana. Thank you. Double let's, huh? Wow. This is gonna be really hard to play with cold hands. gonna take a second for these bad boys to wake up. No, there wasn't a curtain hook either. My weekend was okay, Liana, if you're asking me. Good morning, Crow. Also, something happened over the weekend to my wrist. I'm not exactly sure what. It might have happened Friday because I didn't really do a lot of piano playing Friday. Something happened to my wrist, like it hurts kind of, and I don't know when or where this occurred. I'm sure it'll get better soon, but it is also hindering my piano playing today, so I apologize. Ah, mm, 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 mm. Dar says, "Who is on me without a pull-up bar?" You know what's funny? Also, the angle is a little bit higher because I have my phone flipped upside down. It's weird. If I have my phone upside down, I mean, it's horizontal either way, but if I have it flipped upside down, I feel like it catches more above my head than usual. Because usually the pull-up bar isn't even in view. And right now, if the pull-up bar was up, it would be in view. If the pull-up bar was up, a few minutes before I started the stream. I took it down before I started the stream in order to close the door. It was some extra work, but I'm trying. Yeah, I'll do my best. Lindsay, thank you. Leon says it could be dreaded tendrils. What? Word up, Cyber. Thanks. Thank you for being here. Lizzie says, "Do you like the new background?" Not necessarily. My dexterity, it's gone, guys. You know what's funny? The one cool thing about losing dexterity on the cold is it's almost like a skill check because this is not the first, winter I've ever played piano. But it hasn't always been hard for me to play piano in the winter, meaning my songs have gotten more difficult to play, to perform. And I like that. That's cool. bus next to him says around. The photo was taken on the highway. Story behind that photo. Ooh, it's on the interstate. I was driving with Coma to. I think we were going to a party or a show or something. Coma was visiting for like spring break or something like that. And we were going to a thing. I had some car trouble. My car broke down, and Coma still wanted to go to the party as people do. So Coma took it. What happened? Oh, a cop showed up. A cop showed up? Yes, a cop showed up. And was it a cop? Or was it? It was a cop. I'm positive it was a cop. Anyways, a cop showed up, as cops do when you're like on the shoulder of the highway, and it's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, no, my car's all messed up. And they're like, oh, okay. Did you already call AAA? And I was like, yeah, they should be here in a while. And then Coma got in the car with the cop to get off the highway, and Coma took an Uber to the party and went out to the party and enjoyed their evening. And I clearly didn't. But before Coma left, they took a picture of me waiting for the tow truck to show up. That's where that photo comes from. I was very upset. I don't know why I've hung this on my wall, actually. Now I'm in a bad mood. So ever says dip your hands more water before playing piano. You know, there's actually, okay, so that's actually funny that you bring that up, Cyber. I used to play in a band called Cap of the Sun, and a band that we played with pretty often was called Rescue the Future? Heroes of the Future, or Rescue the Future, something like that. It's like pop punk bands. I mean, every pop punk band kind of, Cap of the Sun, Rescue the Future, Heroes of Light, everything kind of sounded like a Kingdom Hearts subplot. But anywho, this band Rescue the Future had a keyboard player also, who was like oddly ripped to be a keyboard player. We didn't really understand why he was so buff. His keyboard was like 12 pounds at most. He used to always put Vaseline all over his hands before he played keyboard. And he was like, it's really good for speed. Sorry, I'm like getting the mental image of the way he used to do it. So he would like put it on his hands really fast. Like he was always moving his hands really fast like a squirrel. Not the way I've seen people like moisturize. It was always like getting a big gob of it, and he was like going like that. Like he was like, all right, and then he would set it up. And he was like, it helps me for dexterity. He's like, it helps me play a little bit faster. And he also said that it helps his hands not get cold. And it's like I felt like I was being lumped in with him because people saw us both as weird, but I mean, I didn't understand his whole thing. He was going through so much Vaseline on tour. But, he smelled good. I don't know, I like the smell of Vaseline, so he smelled really nice to me. I don't know. I have very fond memories of him. Then he went on his mission, and I never saw him again. I never saw that man again. I never will either. There's zero way why our paths would cross again. Anywho, here's 5-4 love letters. 5-4? No, that's not right, is it? 5-4? I say 5-4, but is that... this is love letters. The way I play it now. 10-8 is what you're looking for, says Dar. Am I? Thank you, I guess? Is this 10-8? like about playing this song at 5/4 is I like the way the no, sorry. I like that solo comes in, or this note hits early, if that makes sense. So if I'm playing in the usual way, it sounds like this. And then the 5/4 way it goes. I don't know. It's a very, very subtle difference, but I do like it a little bit more. You can't break it into 5 evenly, says Dar. I'm gonna die of music theory. I'm gonna explode. Well, Dar, at least you're gonna explode from knowledge, it seems, which is better than exploding from ignorance. What chord comes after that, guys? In a this, and a. What's the chord after that? Hey, what's up, Ghost Boy? I'm gonna die from not knowing what you're talking about, says. Aww. What are you talking about, Dar? What comes after that? I'm sorry. Definitely not that one. I mean, unless I just wanted to. Maybe that one? Oh, that's like easy go. Oh, chord progressions. Jazz, junk, underwater, Mario World, Sonic level. Kinda almost says Ghost Boy. Word. It's an EP. It's an EP. Oh. The day that Cyber got the wrench. There was the lawless days when no one had the wrench. When even I didn't really wield my powers as host of stream. I simply allowed the people to govern themselves. And this did not work. Oh. This is why I can't have the laptop right there. It's distracting. Thanks, Cyber. I appreciate the help. Dar is insisting that they're self-governable. Um, hmm. Hmm. I don't like the term haters room. Ay, ay, ay. Is that, oh my goodness. Um, is it Matthew? Is it Matthew? Ay, ay, ay. Hello. I'm sorry if I've butchered your name, but hello and welcome to the stream. Thank you for making time for it. I appreciate you. Oh, it is Matthew. Well, how about that? To answer your question, Rem, I don't know that I would say hater necessarily. There's been people that have come to the stream that are like disrespectful. I don't like the term hater. It makes it sound like that person is defined by their distaste of me, and I don't know. I'm sure I'm sure they got other stuff going on, and then just also don't like me on the side. It's like a side gig. That one potato guy says Lindsay. Lindsay, you have a better memory than me. Hmm. But there's been some awful people that have come in. Do you guys remember that time where I had to mute a bunch of people? Remember that? Where I like kicked people? You guys had to have seen it. It wasn't even that long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. Maybe three at most. I had to kick like three people. Do you guys remember that? They came in and they were just saying the same word over and over. Anyways, I try not to acknowledge them, but sure, Ram, we get some like rambunctious like people. But when I think of a hater, I think of somebody that like actually is defined by their dislike of me, and like I can't keep them away. Like they'll make a new account and come in just to be mean. Um, but I don't think I have anybody like that. Most of the people that decidedly don't like me are actually. Oh, I almost said something really mean. Um, like I was gonna say the people that actually don't like me are real. Oh, there's a bird on my TV. Sorry, I put like the first TV I ever got in LA out on the street. It's finally garbage. It's like there's birds on it. They're pecking at it. I don't know. I feel like I'm one with nature a little bit. Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I would say they feel real, and that's because I've actually met those people. Like for example, who's somebody that I've had like issues with that isn't like too personal. Like I've had issues with Jana, that artist, but I actually know that person. Like we've interacted before, and since we know each other, and when we have problems with each other, we're probably not gonna like do that online. Like she's not gonna come into one of my streams and be mean. I'm not gonna like go into one of her like Twitch streams and be mean. I don't know. I feel like online hate is almost not gonna say it's completely exclusive, but it's almost exclusive to people that don't actually know you. It's like for strangers, and I just feel like most strangers don't know enough about me to even not like me. Really, just a bunch of keyboards and a pair of gloves. Not really too much of a personality here. Your haters aren't internet people, is what you're saying. Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're internet people, but you know, I'll get in arguments with people, like actual arguments, but it probably won't happen on a stream. If that makes sense. All my haters are online, says Dar. Word, word, word. I don't know which is better, right? I don't know which is better. I personally prefer. If I'm gonna get hate, I prefer to come from people that actually know me, because then I can like try to dissect it, or try to. Sometimes I don't care, but like sometimes I'll try to dissect it. Like what's gone wrong? But Rem, to answer your question, not really, not by my definition. Um, it's hard to define haters. I would define haters as like the opposite of a stan. Somebody that like vehemently does not like something, and they dedicate a considerable amount of time to expressing that hate. Whether it's by posting things on Twitter, or it's by telling their friends, "Hey, we don't like so and so, they're bad," or harassing them to some degree. Whereas a stan is somebody that feels so enamored with somebody that they have like energy and money and time to spend glorifying that person and like worshiping that person. I feel like in my brain, hater is the same but opposite. Like that same energy, just on the other, in the other direction. And I don't think I have anybody like that, you know? I knew what you meant, Dark. I like the Dark clarified Avengers Endgame. I don't know what else is called Endgame, actually. Hmm. Cyber's getting Taco Bell for lunch. Well, congratulations. I don't know anything really about Taco Bell. It's so interesting. You might be making a mistake, Cyber. You would be making a mistake if you had my stomach and body, but I feel like you don't. Because you were able to consume beer cheese and not have like not enter a nightmare escape. So maybe it will probably be okay. Baja Blast is something I haven't had in like I don't know about 6 years maybe. I haven't had it since I moved to LA, so at least 6 years. Lindsay loves beer cheese. Wow. All right. Well. I don't want to be a part of this conversation because you guys already know how I feel about beer cheese because I went on a whole thing in a stream about it, and so I'm not going to return to it in today's stream. Sometimes you just need to hit that drive-through, says Liana. Sometimes. I ate Burger King yesterday. Didn't feel good about it, and while I ate the King, I was watching like a 5-hour YouTube video on the complete lore of Destiny, the video game, because I've never played Destiny 1 or 2, and I kind of don't know that I want to, but the story, like, here we go. I want to play Destiny 2, but I don't want to play Destiny 1, and everybody's like, you don't really have to, and I'm like, yeah, but I feel like I at least need to, like, know what happens in it, and they're like, you really don't, but, like, I feel like I need to, so I'm watching a whole video on it, and it's very long, and I like fell asleep to it and had the weirdest, violent dreams. And so I have to start the video over, obviously, because I slept through half of it, and I can't retain knowledge like that. Anyways, as a person who spends 1,600 hours on Destiny 1, you don't really have to. Oh my god, I didn't know I had a Destiny head in here. That's cool. Maybe I should just be talking to you instead of watching this boring YouTube video. Destiny's story doesn't sound great, says Dar. I'm not going to say it's great. Again, I've never played the game, Dar, but it's very gripping to me. I love space opera type stuff. I love like political, Snorefest. I love like space politics. What's wrong with me? No, nothing. A lot of people are like that, I think. I mean, that's the entire like Trekkie community. I'm not part of that, by the way, the Trekkie community, but I like space politic. All of the meat is in written lore outside of the game. Oh. The lore's awesome. It's just not presented well in the game. Oh. So, I'm not doing anything that bad then. Because people would have to leave the game in order to get some of the lore anyway, it sounds like. Space politics, says Ghostboy? What? Yeah, space politics. Think of Star Trek or Mass Effect 2 is a really good example of a very political space game. Also Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 3 kind of just turned into a big, like, shoot-em-up fest, but... And I loved all three, by the way. Anyways, also, space politic. Imagine if all of, like, the Star Wars movies took place on Coruscant. I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. I don't know. My brain. For the same reason, you know how there's, like, history buffs? You know, there's some people that are, like, really into, like, World War II, World War I, like, Conan O'Brien is like that, like loves world. No, he loves Civil War history. Like he knows everything about the Civil War and like war generals, and he's so fascinated with it. I think I'm kind of like that also. It's just way further back. Like I like looking at really in-depth educational videos about like Genghis Khan or how like empires have like expanded or shrank. I like what is that? I guess that's just politics, but I don't know. Immediate modern, minute, finite. Sorry, not finite. Minute is better. Minute micro politics is not as interesting to me. I like things on a macro scale, right? I like to see how things changed and morphed over, I don't know, maybe 500 years? Like, expanding past my lifespan. Um, like, it's very interesting to see, boy, I want to say, I don't really love Star Wars that much, but I think that's the fun for me in Star Wars comes in the big picture, not necessarily any one movie. I like looking at how like entire races or planets' like narrative has shifted beyond the lifespan of any of the characters in the actual. I'm done talking about this. This is really boring. Um, Lindsay says you want to sell a fall. You want to see a fall of a whole civilization, says Lindsay. I mean, it doesn't have to be a fall. It can also be a rise. I mean, it doesn't have to be negative, but I do like seeing um, change over time, I suppose. I really like it. If you go into my local grocery store, all over the, it's a really big grocery store, but all over the, what do you call this? Like, the part of the wall that's higher than all the doors? It's like wainscoting, but higher. Wainscoting? Wainscoting? Getting sidetracked. Anyways, all over the top of the building, they have all these photos of my neighborhood from like 100 years ago, and it's so cool. It's not quite the ceiling; it's still the wall. It is, but it's all photos of my neighborhood from like years ago, and it's accompanied by like little stories of this is how this changed, or like recognize this building. This is the old theater. Like it ended up getting moved here after the 1923 fire. Like I like stuff like that. And I know that's like a subcategory of history, but I do like seeing, I don't necessarily just like stories from history without context. I like context of like where that thing ended up and where that thing started. That stuff's always really cool to me. I used to like listening to my dad talk about just life in general, because like he wasn't from Arizona, right? And for my life, he was just an Arizonan that had like a bunch of kids. And so it's kind of cool hearing his teenage life, just because I already had the end. I already knew the end of the story. It's kind of like looking at a prequel. Prequels can be fun because it allows you to have historical context for stuff and like draw a full narrative. And that's why I like space politics, because typically space politics and most lore, even things like Lord of the Rings, usually they like span thousands of years because they have to build a whole world, and you can't just like drop somebody in the middle of a completely fictional world without explaining the origins of a lot of things and conflicts. So sometimes that can be fun, and it doesn't hold a lot of the weight and guilt that Earth history has, because a lot of Earth history comes with like context of like, crap, those things and people are real, and I feel invested in this one way or another. But if I'm looking at something like Star Wars, I kind of it's fun because I don't have any personal investment. A lot of it's fictional. Well, all of it is fictional. Wildflowers, welcome back. You're rare, but you're always a treat when you do show up. Welcome. Why did I get on this? Is it a Trader Joe's? It is definitely not a Trader Joe's, Leona. I do not like Trader Joe's, and I will not be shopping at a Trader Joe's ever, if I can help it. Maybe something changes, right? Maybe something changes when I'm really old, and I'm like, turns out Trader Joe's was a good idea, but not now. Not now. Not for me. The world building is probably what he's describing. Spot on, Lindsay. Yeah. What's interesting, though, is that for me, and I'll move on from this after I make this point, for me, world building is more of, world building, to me, feels like the initial thing, and I know that's wrong in a way. Like world building never ends, but to me, world building is like setting the stage and then the story takes place. I'm not necessarily just talking about setting the stage. I'm more so talking about the all of it. Like the story's over, and now I can have all of the background plus the story. World building is fun, but like if a game simply builds a world and then you don't get to play in it, it's not necessarily a game as much as it's a portrait or like a snapshot or a painting. And so um, I like both, if that makes sense. Hmm. I've never been inside Trader Joe's as this. I've only ever seen one in my life. Ugh. I've seen like a million. But that's partially because of where I live, so that's fair. No offense to anybody who shops at Trader Joe's. I'm sure they sell a lot of very, very nice things for people just who aren't me. Ooh. Uh-oh. Omni's in trouble again. I'm going to make an entire segment on the morning medley just called Omni's in Trouble, because I feel it happens just as often as the stream does. I'm playing a D&D campaign right now, says Lindsay, and it took me ages to actually create my character because I feel like I didn't know enough about the world. It felt wrong. That's probably good. You care. You care more than maybe a lot of people do. I like going there once in a while. They have decent prices on some stuff. Some things are overpriced. Some things are definitely overpriced. And some things are definitely decently priced. It's like Sprouts. If only the former were true. Ghostboy says, you just start a D&D campaign, just asking. People want to start D&D campaigns. I almost got roped into a D&D campaign, and in hindsight, I'm really glad that I didn't do it. But that has nothing to do with D&D and more to do with the people that were starting the campaign. I do kind of wish I had the time to be a part of like a pretty robust D&D campaign. It seems like a bit of time. I blame mostly the McElroys for my even like fleeting interest in Dungeons and Dragons, but I think that my interest in D&D is a little bit romanticized, and like I said earlier, a little fleeting. I don't think that I would have it in me to actually complete a full. Whoa! Oh my God! It's a bee. I thought it was on the inside. It's on the outside. We're cool. D&D. I think that I would get like, well, not bored, but distracted halfway through the campaign, and I would just not want to play anymore. But I did get invited to one. I started a campaign once at some comic place, but I never really had the time to go back and keep playing. Yeah, I feel like that might happen to me also. Hey, Ren, did I ever tell you about that one time a bee got stuck in my room and then I wrote a song about it? I told you about that, didn't I? That's how I wrote the song Bumblebee, Rem. That's the story of how Bumblebee was made a few years ago. it's not that I'm. Oh, if you're talking to me, Lindsay, I'm not cold. I'm like physically, I'm actually not cold right now. It's just like the inside of me is, if that makes sense. A hoodie won't help that. A hoodie won't help that. It's like it's a thing. I don't know how to explain it. It's a thing that only goes away with like motion. Like with like my piano playing, sometimes I just have to play like through it. Brute force, baby. It's so weird. Sometimes on Mondays, it's really weird for me. What's the word? Adapting to the lack of delay in the streams on Monday through Thursday because Friday has such a huge delay in it that I'm not used to being able to like say something to somebody and see them like immediately type a reply. It's weird. But weird. But weird. Probably wouldn't seem as long if you get along well with everyone. Says Viz. Indeed. Time flies when you're having a good time, baby. I think I'm gonna try a new chicken marinade. I think I'm gonna use more lime. See where that puts me, right? You've got a buffer probably set up on Streamlabs. I definitely have a buffer set up on Streamlabs Cyber. I definitely do. I definitely do. A pretty sizable one, also. Just because, I'm afraid of oopsies. I'm afraid of oopsies. I do think the oopsies occur. Maybe they occur less now that I have the LAN cord. Honestly, I feel like my internet's really bad, by the way, guys. It goes out all the time. Spectrum is trash. I pay them for basically nothing. But I feel like the stream lords have smiled on me because for whatever reason, the stream very rarely crashes anymore. Often, right after I finish a stream, guys, my internet will go down. But usually not while I'm actually streaming. It's weird. I'm grateful, but I mean disappointed because I am paying for this garbage internet. It's upsetting. Anyways, what was I saying? Knock on some wood. Last night, I thought I felt an earthquake. I'm pretty sure I didn't. But I thought I did. And I still haven't figured out what exactly that was that I felt. I think I was just stressed. Do you guys ever manifest an earthquake when you're stressed out? Not a real one, obviously. We're not mutants, but like manifest like a personal mental earthquake. Was it aliens landing at somebody? No, this is California, not New Mexico. Liana says yeah. Ghost Boy also says yeah. Wow, okay, wow, this is so cool. I'm so not used to being related to in the stream. I feel like I'm off on an island here, but thank you. Okay, cool. We've got several quakes, it sounds like. Stress quakes? I know that people don't really, like in the stream, Cyber was the only person I knew that got as off stress nosebleeds as often as I do. Last time I thought that I was sitting in a broken rocking chair. Who's sitting in rocking chairs? Never once experienced an earthquake, said. Oh. I can't remember if it's cute or suit. I can't remember. Or if it's cut. I can't remember. You have to forgive me. I'm sorry. Usually I need like 3 times before I remember. It's suit. Okay. Okay, I will commit it. I will commit it to memory. If you've gone through the trouble of entering a stream more than once, I should at least put forth the effort to remember how to pronounce the name. I love this chord. I love this chord. I don't know what it's called. Dar. Where's Dar? Where's a music theory brain? What is this? I love that. This? I love those. I love that. It's nice. I love it. This one? Those chords? Wait, no. Those weren't the same. Sorry. This chord I that's it. I mean, I also like this chord, but I never hit that one. That sounds weird to me. But I do like this one, and I like this one, and I like this one. Because if I'm playing a chord progression like this, I can throw in so it's like 4 chords, right? It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. I can throw in that weird chord as like a 5th chord. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. This chord always sounds, and to me, this chord always sounds good before this chord. I like that I can kind of go down there, you know. I also like, which is kind of the same thing, is this chord. That's fun. That's fun. Oh my god, wait, hold on. That was an accident, but. Maybe. Anyways, I do like that chord a lot. I just can't really figure out where to put it other than before this chord yet. I still need to come up with better uses for it, like some more creative uses. But if I'm ever playing a song and I feel like I'm going to go back to this chord, I'll usually just throw this in right before it. It kind of gives it like a nice little spicy entry. Either like those disco chords that I would play. Sometimes, even if I'm not really trying to get there, and I play this in a different chord context, it's nice to be able to fall somewhere. Like, think about that Christmas song that I play sometimes. So the chords would be. I'm hitting that chord in there, in that chord progression. So technically, I could go, or I could go like something weird, like. See that weird chord? That always goes before this chord. I could. things that sound broken. I like when things sound broken. But anyways, the initial was. So like if I'm resolving that down here, that's fine. But I do like a weirder. See how even just the bass line changes the nature of that chord? Because it's originally. Instead of. Oh crap! Technically, that's the same thing. I could. Hmm. This chord here. Usually, I play it before this chord, but I can also play this chord before this chord. See? Or so if I play this chord, that actually works for the song better because the first chord of this song is this. And if I just add an extra note in the bass, it becomes this chord, which would then be the D chord. So it would go. It would go. No, wait, hold on. No, it is the same. It's the same chord. Ooh. Oh, word. Sorry, my internet didn't even go out. I just got a phone call. I just got a phone call. Funny thing is, I guess the person just kept calling, and then it minimized the stream. I really want to do the. Okay, so there's several different. Oh man, I thought I had to sneeze. Anyways, there's a few different ways in which I can build a song, right? And this is true not just for me, but for everyone. We're like in earthquake mode. Hold on. Okay, so there's a few different ways I tend to build songs. I can build songs in kind of like a stream of conscious way where things go everywhere, but then I find a pocket, not a pocket. I find a melody that I'm like, this will probably be the driving melody of the song, and then I'll repeat it maybe once or twice. Like a good example of this is the song Double Lutz, right? So. So that's the melody of Double Lutz. And I technically repeat it twice, and then the third time I repeat it in a higher key. But there's other stuff mixed in there. You know, there's this whole section. section, there's this section. There's like other stuff thrown in there, but the main melody is the. And the only reason you guys, if you guys are even receiving that is the main melody of the song, the only reason you guys are receiving that is because I repeat it. If it only happened at the beginning and it never came back, it wouldn't be seen as like an iconic or memorable part of the song. It's just another stream of conscious thing. A good example of that is also in love letters. A lot of the signal songs actually begin and end with the same melodies. So we have. That's how I start the song, but then I also end the song with. That's how I end the song, and it's how I begin the song. So those parts are memorable in Winter Heart. But also in the middle of Winter Heart, we do have a. It feels like that melody of the song. It feels like that's the melody of the song, but there's several parts of Winter Heart, guys, that only occur once. A good example that only occurs once is. Like that part only happens once in the song, so it's not seen as like the melody of the song. And then, so that's one way I write a song, right? Where it's like, it's driven by one specific melody, and then there's maybe a few more experimental or explorative sections of the song. This type of song building can, for me, in my experience, I've pushed it a little bit further and further. There are some songs like, not Over and Under, Into Thin Air, there's songs like that. Where if somebody would pressed me, like hard pressed me to come up with whatever the main melody of Into Thin Air was, I would actually struggle a little bit because the song is built in like Lego pieces. Almost. Like there's that section, you know, that I was playing there. Then there's this section. And there's this section. There's like that part, which is fine. There's this part. There's like all these disjointed sections, which have a really strong melody, but there isn't one big melody that's like overarching in the song. It's kind of like, here's this melody and this chord progression, here's a new one and this chord progression, here's a new one and this chord progression, here's another thing thrown in there, here's another thing. It's kind of built like that. And there isn't one, in my opinion, that is like stronger than all the others around it. So when building this new song that I'm making, this one, when building that song, I feel like I've built it around a very specific melody. So if I leave that, after I do it the second time, right? After I do it the second time, once I get into that part, now I'm able to go into a more explorative part of the song. But if I'm going to be embarking on a more explorative part of the song, I'm going to need either the absence of to me, if I'm building a song, I'm going to need either an absence of a melody and more of like a weak melody so as not to draw the attention away from that main one so that when I return to it later, it appears just as strong as it did in the beginning of the song. Or I kind of go wild and free and do whatever I want, just as long as I'm able to make it back to this chord later to start the melody over again to kind of take the song out, as is my custom. It poses a few different options. And this is the song that I want to do what I've constantly been referring to on the stream as the E.T. thing, which is kind of hard to put into words. If you know the E.T. theme song, and you're somebody that, I don't say you necessarily need to know music theory, because I don't, and I'm the one saying that I want to do the E.T. thing. But if you listen to music pretty intently and you listen to the E.T. theme song, the E.T. theme song does something very specific to me, which is that it bakes the way my ears are receiving it. It bakes in key changes to the melody. So when working with key changes, as somebody that doesn't necessarily know keys, I view key changes, the sun feels so nice. I view key changes as like just having to like transpose a song or a melody or a chord progression that I already know. Now this can be done in very small ways, as just transposing one chord or one note. If you think about the song Love Letters, it is the same chord just being transposed up and down. So it's this chord transposed down a bit, it's this chord transposed up a bit, it's this chord transposed down a bit, it's this chord transposed down a little bit. You go from here, transpose down a little bit, transpose up a bit, transpose down a bit. Being transposed around the keyboard. So that's like an example of like a very minute, very small transposition, because all I'm doing is I'm taking one chord. Now you can take a grouping of chords, right, and you can transpose them. Like, oh, sorry. You can transpose those things. The song Home that I have has gone through a bunch of different transpositions, right? It started off with, it ended up here, and then finally here. Ew. I moved it around a lot, so you can move around whole groupings of chords or whole groupings of melodies. So that's how I've moved. That's how I've dealt with key changes in the past. If there is a song that I really like, but maybe I don't want to play it in all the white keys, I'll just take every chord and I'll slide it down a little bit, and then I'll learn it in a new spot instead of playing it in its original spot. And then I'll have a new song. Sometimes I'll do that within the song, again, like double was. Sometimes I'll do it within the song. But the specific thing that the E.T. thing that I'm referring to, is when the key change is actually an integral part of the melody. The melody has a key change in it. You aren't playing the melody in one key and then playing the melody in another key. You're playing the melody, and you cannot play it without swapping out keys. And I want to do that in the song so badly, because I just love the way that sounds. I love how wonky it sounds. I would like to, E.T. does it ascending. I would like to try to do it descending, but I don't know how that would sound. So I maybe want to start with ascending and then experiment with its descending. Descendants. Again, if you do not know what I'm talking about, with now having the knowledge of this explanation that I've tried to give you guys, maybe go listen to the E.T. theme on your own time, just the main part of it. There is an ascending thing that's happening in it that is so weird. I miss how chill the streams are. Your piano playing as I missed you guys. Oh, thanks, Cause. It's nice to have you back. Boy, am I hungry. Also, it's interesting to me because Home didn't even start off as that melody. It started off as the melody that is right before it. Home also started off in the light keys. So it's no. trying to get better, yeah, at, like taking things and transposing them around the piano. Not really knowing what the names of keys are, but at least knowing that they exist and that I can familiarize myself with different chords in them. Also, it's interesting to me because the hum didn't even have to start off as that melody. It started off as the melody that is right before it. I want the problem. That's the initial problem. The initial problem I'm talking about. The problem with this song, or the challenge with this song is, it is the song I want to do the ET thing in. But I think the ET thing is so grand. In my head, it's so grand that I want it to be the main melody of the song. That I want it to be the main melody of the song, instead of what this would end up being. So I might save it maybe for another song, but that is something I really, really badly want to do. That's like my big composition challenge right now, is figuring out how to do that. I realize that isn't Lindsay. Sorry, I was just trying to like figure out what to do with that melody. What? Sorry. For another time, for sure. Yeah, another cool thing about, and I've said this before in the stream, another cool thing about moving songs to a different place is if you are like me and you play, thank you for liking my shirt, Diz. If you are like me and you play music very physically and not so much mentally all the time, like sometimes I'll just hit chords because they feel good for my hands, right? Like this chord always feels nice. This chord played in different keys doesn't feel the same way. For example, if I transpose it down, if I transpose it down one note, it becomes, I don't know, hideous. It becomes and I don't, this is not as comfortable to me in my hand as this is. And I think it's because this has kind of like my thumb over my right hand. My hands kind of just slide in perfectly. This one, hold on, I gotta like do it in the baby way. This one doesn't feel nearly as good. So I just don't play it as much. So something really interesting is that if I move an arrangement that I already have into another chord progression, sometimes my hands will gravitate to positions that are comfortable to them, and it actually opens up weird new paths. And that did happen for home. As Lindsay says, the chord progression. Wait. Did I say this was like a game show theme? Like when I first started playing, I was like, this sounds like a game show to me. Anyways. I'm never gonna be able to play this switch up. I'm that does not feel good to me anymore, which is so funny because that was so hard to play in the other key initially. Oh my god, mommy. That's so funny. Oh wait, hold on. Oh wait. Oh crap. Didn't realize that was a possibility. I mean, I don't want to go there, but it's really interesting because this chord works and so does this one. The difference between those two chords is so hard for my left hand to get. Oh, the intro melody. The intro melody. The big reason why I don't play the intro melody a lot of times is because I very rarely play this song straight in. A lot of times this song is blended into the morning medley, which prohibits that typically. A lot of times now when I slide into that song, I slide into it on this chord. The reason that I slide into it on this chord is because this chord's pretty common in my music. This chord happens to appear in over and under. This chord also appears in double hooks. So since this is a common chord in my music, typically I'm sliding into this new song with this chord. For example, if I was playing double luts, I was like... It's like because that chord is already there. And the intro chord, this one, appears in 0 of my songs. This is not here. I've never hit that in a song before. So it's hard to glide into it from this chord. When I was playing it in its old key, this one, this appears in a lot of my music actually. This appears in Reflection Pool. Oh, and Clover Salad apparently. That's pretty funny. It's a very common chord in my music. This one, not nearly as common. So usually how I end up getting into that one is I'll play the entire refrain of the song. Ew, gross on me. Ew. Austin. Oh. Let me try it. it again. This is how I get into that chord. And then I get in that chord. I have to go the chorus first. Let me do that again. So that's usually how I get into it now. It's not actually at the top of the song anymore. It's actually in the middle of the song. That is a common thing that I do a lot, Lindsay. A big thing, very big thing. I'm so hungry. A very big thing that I do sometimes when switching from song to song, especially in the medley, is if there's a similar chord. Oh, thanks, Diz. Wow. I wouldn't expect. I don't know why, but I didn't expect a comment like that from you. That's a really nice thing to say. Thank you. Oh, what was I saying, Lindsay? Sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah, a very common way that I'll switch between songs. One way I switch between songs is by figuring out a chord they have in common and then just playing that chord and then starting to play the next song. Which happens for the new like Christmas sounding song. Then I'm already at this chord, then I can just go. So. Then I can immediately go into hum very smoothly when there's a chord in common, especially when they're in the same key, right? A few songs, like, have you ever listened to an album a lot of times, guys? And you've listened to the album so much that you know the sequencing of the album, and so if you hear one of those songs, if you hear the song end, you can already hear the next song beginning, or you're anticipating the beginning of the next song. There are a lot of songs that I play in tandem in the morning medleys. Sometimes I'll switch it up, but it's a very solid connection between the two, and so I'll play them in tandem pretty often. A good example of this is going into Spring Street. I used to often go from bum, 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 bum. I used to go from I Miss You into Spring Street. Oh, this song? I would just keep doing that until I got to the Spring Street chord. I would keep transitioning, so I'd go. Sorry, let me try that again. Spring Street chord. And so oftentimes Miss You will just go into Spring Street because it fits really well. Another thing that can often go into Spring Street was Over and Under. Spring Street. What's actually kind of fun about rearranging the combinations of the songs in the morning medley is usually the rhythm of the old song will bleed into the rhythm of the new song, so it causes me to play the song a little bit differently. So if I'm going into Spring Street from I Miss You, you get those like rolly notes. it that way, and it keeps that rhythm, that like roll, the like kind of galloping rhythm. Going into it from over and under, it ends up taking its waltz rhythm. So over and under being now it has a waltzy rhythm, even though it's still Spring Street. And that waltzy rhythm might disappear as I'm playing the song, or I might keep it through the entire song. So there are certain songs that just kind of really easily bleed into other ones, which helps the morning medley. This tends to be mostly because a lot of my songs have similar chords because they're made by me, and I only have a limited chord vocabulary. So most of the signal songs, you know, if I'm talking about love letters, this song begins on this chord, which does not appear in any of my other songs. So sometimes getting into love letters from its intro can be a challenge. Sometimes it's better to get into love letters from this chord, which appears in a lot of my music, namely Jumpin' Jaybird. It's also the last chord in Double Lutz. It's also, where is it? It's the third chord in Catching Up. It's in a lot of my music. It's the first chord in Me Line. It's the third chord, no, it's the fifth chord in Key Lime. So that's a really common chord. However, the first chord of Love Letters, this, is not a common chord. So if I'm playing other songs, like if I'm playing, I don't know, Witchy or something like that, it's going to be very hard to get into this. So what I typically have to do is improv my way into it just by playing a lot of random things. And when I say improv my way into it, what I really mean is hit random notes and chords. There's a lot of times where when I'm playing, I'll just go like, and now I'm in the love letter progression. See, so you kind of just like wing it a little bit. Sometimes if I have a really rare chord like this, which is the first chord of Love Letters, or this, which is technically the first chord of Home, or this. Witchy is this chord. I kind of hate that chord, and it is the first chord of Witchy. One of the main reasons I hate it is because it's so rare. It's so like almost comically goofy. Thank you, Alpha. I appreciate that. You're not the first person to say that, I don't think. I very rarely wear this shirt, but I'm glad people like it. The first chord in the Witchy chord progression is very rare for me to play. I don't typically play it. It's almost like comically wonky. And so it doesn't appear in a lot of my music because a lot of my music is a little bit more lighthearted, and this feels almost like jokingly dark. So I don't hit that chord a lot. It very rarely appears in my music. But a chord that does appear in my music quite a bit is this chord. And really all what I just played is that first chord, the Witchy chord, plus an extra bass note. That does appear in my music quite a bit. Either in that way or transposed somewhere, you know. Like that's technically the Christmas thing. Yeah. What's wrong? It's here. Yeah. So if I were like transposing that one. with something again. But point is, you can get there by transposing things. This is technically the first chord from Witchy. And so getting into Witchy can sometimes be a challenge. A lot of times the way I get into Witchy is by playing this chord, which is a lot happier, a lot... And it appears in a lot of my music, right? And so I'll usually just play like this chord, and then I'll add in the Witchy chord. And I'll kind of just alternate between that brighter chord and the Witchy chord. I think that there are some songs that, again, have a lot of very common chords for me, and then there's some that are a little bit more rare, and so it's harder to get into them for morning medleys. A lot of times when I'm playing a song, if I feel like I'm nearing the end of the song, I'll already start thinking about what's coming next, and sometimes that can be frustrating, because I'll be thinking about a song, and I'm just like, how am I going to get into that song? Sometimes that can be part of the fun, but sometimes it can also be very annoying, so... Anyhow. You should perform for ballroom dancing, says Alpha. I have before. It's not something that I enjoy doing though, so I no longer do that. It's kind of like performing for weddings. There's a lot of things that like when making and performing music I would do for a while, and I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I had that opportunity, but I no longer want to do that. If that makes sense. Pays pretty good though, by the way. Both of those things. Playing in ballrooms and playing in weddings, which sometimes occur in ballrooms, are very lucrative. If you can like get a racket, if you can get a business model up. I gotta stop referring to things as a racket. That's negative. Do what you love, says Alpha. Indeed. How many weddings have you been to, Alpha? 4 or 5. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good amount. There are some people I know that have never been to a wedding, Alpha. Believe it or not. Do I think I do enjoy weddings. Just not as a performer. I think I do enjoy them. Like, if I'm just going, like, my homie's getting married, it's actually pretty chill. It's actually pretty chill. I wish I could get my hair to look the same, just 2 days in a row. That's all I want. I just want 2 days of consistency. Kaz has never been to a wedding. Don't worry about Kaz, you're not missing much. I think I'd enjoy a wedding, though. Oh, in that case, I hope you get to go to one day, Kaz. They're amazing. Oh, maybe it'll be you. I hate when people talk about their relationships, but always get giddy when people talk about getting engaged or married. What? Alright, that's cool, that's fine. I don't really like mashed potatoes that much, but I like them fried, so it's cool. Same thing, right? Let's talk about their BF or girlfriend of a few months. That's weird. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say that's weird. I read Lindsay's comment out loud. That's fine. It's fine. It is. It is. It did give me pause. It did give me pause. A lot of responses came up in my head, but then they melted away like cheese, like melted cheese on a pizza shaped like a skateboard. Um, yeah, that's not weird. That's not weird, Alpha. That's cool. Well, what if the ET thing went in this song? That's not right. Oh, I lost it that fast. Huh. So I blocked the guy 2 months ago, says Alpha, talking about a person they blocked 2 months ago. But my spam said, you've been trying to call me for a minute. Then he calls me from a private number on Friday. Uh-oh, be careful, Alpha. I'm always wary of people that are persistent. Yeah, go for it, Lindsay, go for it. Is it vanilla? How do I get back there? Something really, really fun about music is sometimes it's like trying to figure out how to get back home. It's like you start home and then you go out on this really cool adventure, and then sometimes you accidentally end up back home. You know, like a Dark Souls game. You're like, oh crap, I'm back where I started, but in a cool way. Sometimes you just can't figure out how to get home. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you don't want to go home. Anyways, tell me you have an exciting business opportunity and you leave you alone. Says Diz. That's pretty good, Diz. I like that one. Oh, it's not vanilla. I want to hear Melancholy Trash Man. I want to hear different versions, says Lindsay. Word up, word up. I can do that. I can do that. We're nearing the end. We're nearing the end. Ooh, I like that so much, but what does it mean? Ooh, I do like that. Oh my god. Did any of you guys play Final Fantasy 15? Doesn't really matter. Final Fantasy 15 had some like good music. I mean, all of them do. But there was a few musical choices in Final Fantasy 15 that I was particularly drawn to. I'm not saying that I'm playing a Final Fantasy 15 song right now, but I'm just saying people that know what they're doing with music sometimes can do the coolest chord choices, and sometimes people that don't know what they're doing with music can do the coolest chord choices. And I think that the thing in common is like just experiment, throw some stuff in. If it sounds broken, instead of trying to fix it, try to make the broken thing fun. For example, I put up a. I am not by any means. I actually don't understand my brain, but I put up this hook, right, and it is straight. And I put up a second hook, and it's crooked. It's just crooked. It's not straight. It's crooked, and I've already drilled the holes in the wall. See, and I don't want to drill any more holes, so I'm fine with it. And I think that that's been my approach to so many things in life. You know, if a thing is like not perfect, instead of expending extra energy to make it perfect, or if something's not working, instead of trying to make it work, I just kind of look at the ways in which it doesn't work and try to find merits in that and go like, this is cool, I'm gonna move along. And sometimes this is really annoying to people around me because they're like, hey, we should do another take. You should record that again. Or like, hey, shouldn't you fix this? This is wrong, or this is crooked, or this is broken, or this thing doesn't work. Only 3 of the wheels work. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's good. It's fine. I like it that way. I just kind of learned to like things the way they are, for the most part. Why did I get on this? Why did I get on this? Hooks. Oh, because I was talking about this. That sounds like a finger slip, right? Because that is not in the chord. But what I like about it is this is the first note of the melody. So I like it that it's repeated the first note of the melody on top of a completely different chord, changing its context from this to this. And also that it comes early. Like instead of going it goes. I do like that. I'm gonna mess around with that a little bit more. Very flexible and adaptable, says Cause. Yes. This is a quality I found in Brokies, and a fine group of people I like to refer to as Brokies. The Brokies in my life are typically a little bit more flexible. When things aren't working or when something isn't really up to snuff, they go, that's fine, we can make it work. And then the people in my life, of which there are several now, who are a little bit wealthier and come from wealth, are a little bit more like, things have to be a certain, way, things have to match, things have to be new, things can't be used, things have to be this, I don't really have a things have to be a certain way, too much. I try to be flexible, even when I don't like things. Even when I don't like things, I'm like, that's fine. There are different levels of me liking a song, says Lindsay. My top level is needing to learn the song. Interesting. So different. We're all a little crooked inside. Ooh, alpha. I like that a little bit. I don't think I heard the melancholy of trash that's around. I think you did. I just think you didn't know what you were hearing at the time. Melody goes inside that song. Maybe. Maybe. Trash man. He's definitely coming tomorrow. He's definitely coming tomorrow, Liana. You're right. Um, Life just one big potato, says Ram. I'm actually making potatoes after this stream ends. I'm cubing them. I really like. I really like frying chicken. Not like breaded fried chicken like a sandwich, but like frying, like pan frying chicken, and then like having black beans and then rice together with the chicken, and then cubing potatoes, and then frying those in oil, and then adding those and like having a big mix, and then putting peppers in it, and then wrapping that up in a tortilla. And I think that's what I'm gonna do today, because I still have a little bit of cheese left. Anyways, sidetracked. How do you eat so much pizza though? Says Alpha. I actually don't really eat that much pizza. Wait, hold on, Alpha. How much is what is so much to you? How do I eat a whole pizza? Oh, I split it into different meals, Alpha. So, for example, if I went to like Little Caesars today and I got a hot and ready, I would eat about 3 to 4 slices of it, and then in maybe 6 or so hours, I would eat about 3 to 4 slices of it, and then 6 hours after that, I would eat about 3 to 4 slices of it until the pizza's gone. That's how I eat a whole pizza, Alpha. You split it into different meals. It's also a good money saver, I guess. Unless you have a family, just probably got to share with other people. I could eat an entire pizza if it's thin crust, says Diz. Yeah, it's not that big of a feat. Although I don't really get thin crust pizza. In both senses of the word. I don't understand it, and I do not obtain it. I don't spend money on it, but thin crust can be fun. Actually... Oh, thanks, Lindsay. Sorry. Those chords, the funny thing about those chords, Lindsay, you want to know what's funny about those chords? They're the chords from love letters. They're just rearranged. If I go from here, let's say that this chord's called 1. Let's say that this chord's called 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love letters is, instead of going 1, 2, it goes 2, 1. It's just rearranged. So instead of same chords, just rearranged to make them sound sadder, I suppose. Trash man's sad man. But I had Baja Blast, Cyber. What did you get? I can't name 3 things off of the Taco Bell menu. Taco, burrito, quesadilla. But I'm sure they have, I know they have like Crunch Wrap Supreme or like Super Dupa Lupa or whatever. What did you get, Cyber? The rearranging it did a whole lot. Yeah, there's a lot of times, Lindsay, where I have to remember people don't see or hear my songs in the same context that I do. So sometimes things that are really uninspired and whack don't have the same context to a lot of other people listening to them. For example, for me, a lot of times when I play The Family, I'm referring to these songs as The Family. And I mean, when I say The Family, I mean Into Thin Air, Key Lime, Me Mine, what's another one? Catching Up. What's another one? Give me another one. close down, all of these songs to me sound lazily similar, right? I'm playing a key line. It's because they have the same basic chords. They have this chord, they have this chord, and they have this chord, which really are the integral, fundamental chords of key line. Those three chords. And then if I play catching up, same thing. Very, very same cadence, very same, very, very similar cadence, but exact same chord progression. And then you think about a song like Into Thin Air, right? It goes. Same fundamental chords. So when I play those songs, to me, I feel like I'm playing the same exact song over and over. But to other people that don't have the same context of my songs that I do, those do sound different. They do sound different. This sounds fundamentally different than this. But they could be basically the same song. Catching Up is one I haven't heard yet either. It sounds cool, says Cause. Yeah, definitely go listen to it. It exists. It exists, I promise. I've been thinking about it, and you could definitely sell sheet music for your morning medley songs. I can't remember who suggested that last week, but yeah, somebody did suggest that because they wanted to play them. Suit says in the UK, Taco Bell is Taco Bell and KFC together. So it's just KFC but with tacos. Interesting, Suit. We have a couple of Taco Bell KFC combinations here. I actually had one in my neighborhood. I do not go there. Fights happen there. There's like actually a really funny, I mean, I'm sure you guys have the internet, you guys can look it up, but there's like a funny connotation of going to Taco Bell, combination Taco Bell KFC, because fights often happen there. Often. Fights happen at Taco Bell KFC, at the 7th Street 7-Eleven, at Metro Center and 7th and Metro Center, the subway stop. Fights always break out there. MacArthur Park, fights always break out there. Guys, get a map and draw red dots on these places. Do not go here. Do not go here. Do not go to East Hollywood. Do not go to Little Armenia. Do not go to, I mean, you can go to East LA. Just don't go to East LA if you're black. If you're black, stay away from there. If you're not black, if you're white, you just tell everybody you're Cuban. Tell everybody you're like a really light-skinned Puerto Rican. I'm sure they'll buy it. Suit says sheet music is super hard. I only started to learn it at church recently. Interesting. I can't read or write sheet music, but maybe one day, and then I can. I know that there's like programs like software that'll translate MIDI into sheet music. Maybe that's something that I could use if it was a thing that I wanted to pursue, right? Alpha says all the black areas. Nah, none of the areas I actually just named are black areas because I'm black. So obviously I'm not going to name black areas because they're not very dangerous for me anyway. But people tend to leave me alone. But I think it has a lot to do with my whatever. I don't want to talk about that. Suit says my friends are like doing music theory and university. Good for your friends. That's pretty chill. Some of my friends friends are doing music theory in university. I have some friends that were going to Berkeley before the great decline of American society. Um, do you spectate fights or usually stray away, says Alpha? Oh, if a fight breaks out, I'm leaving. If my homie isn't in the fight, I'm out of there. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. The amount of times I've just been standing on the sidelines of a fight and either somehow wound up in it or also wound up getting questioned by the police. Nah. If a fight's breaking out, I'm getting a good distance away. I'm getting a distance away to where I could actually say, like, I didn't even know there was a fight happening, and it'll be believable. This says, no, I got something Cupid. There's a really good joke there. There's a really good joke about going to East LA, looking like me, and just telling everybody that you're from the DR. Telling everybody, just like, no, I'm from DR. It's not me. I just moved here. I'm Dominican. Telling people that you're Dominican when you're actually black in order to avoid getting jumped by a bunch of people in East LA is a really sick but risky tactic to use, and one that I would like to see somebody else do in my peripheral before I'm going to do it. Dark skin is not unique to DR. It definitely isn't. It definitely isn't. It's just part of the joke. It's just part of the joke, Cyber. The joke being that, like, there's a lot of, do I really need to get into it? My grandfather was basically black and he's straight Puerto Rican. Yeah, I know. It's definitely not specific to DR. There's, like, even, like, dark skin, like, Honduran people. There's even dark skin, El Salvadorian people. I have a friend who's half Mexican, half Salvadorian, and he has had a time in East LA. He is constantly having a time. Bless his heart. How does being a black Hispanic just get you out of fights? You're looking too deep, Alpha. Being Hispanic, period, can get you out of fights. If you're in East LA, being Hispanic, period, can get you out of fights. Being black can get you into fights. Being black Hispanic, usually if you're like just a dark skinned Latino person, you can get out of the fight by being Latino. You know, it's almost like how people are like Drake is black. It's like how Drake is black, even though he's half white, he's black though. Or like how the list goes on. I don't need to list all of the half white, half black people that are just black by society standards. In East LA, if you're dark skinned Hispanic, you're Hispanic first, dark skinned second. He's half Jewish, says Alpha. My bad. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. I don't want to have I had a really interesting conversation with one of my exes who I still care about dearly. She's great. I had a funny conversation where she was telling me that Jewish people weren't white, and I was like, word up. And that was the end of that conversation. That was the end of that conversation because I couldn't have it with her. She was very white, by the way, though. She just also happened to be Jewish. Entering dangerous waters, says Lindsay. Yeah. I know there's a difference. Yeah. I know Drake is half Jewish. For sure. Yeah, don't say anything, Lindsay. It's fine. I'm not gonna enter that. My friend is from Kenya, is actually in LA, and I'm positive that he's been hanging around your area. But last time I talked to him, he insulted me. So oh boy. This water is hot enough to warm up your fingy. Oh, my hands feel great, by the way, guys. I did break through it. She was so funny though. She was great because I was just like, I said something. I said something about white areas in LA, and she was like, "This isn't a white area. This is a Jewish area." And I was like, you get word. Word. You're absolutely right. My bad. Did you play 256 while I was away? I didn't. Thank you for reminding me, Cyber. Ooh, it's an acoustic bass. Doesn't that sound like an acoustic bass, Cyber? This is a lower sound. Like, no, Cyber, don't ruin the joke. Don't make me play the lower sounds because that'll actually sound like a bass. It does actually sound like an acoustic bass, Cyber. I will give the keyboard that. Yes, this is legit. This is legit. It's legit. I'm liking this more than I thought I was going to, Cyber. I think I think it's because it makes me think of like it sounds like a cheesy like flamenco guitar. I think that's why I like it. I think that's why I like it. Hmm. Very interesting. Oh. Oh. Wait, hold on. That sounds that sounds so stupid. I've never hit that chord before. It's not very comfortable. It's not a very comfortable chord to hit. It sounds like Toy Story to me. Anyways, thanks, Kaz. Thanks, Kaz. Call Maxo says Alpha. Ah, that's funny. I was just talking about him yesterday. Um, the sound is a hit. Rem says somebody made a video game arcade, so this would be its theme song. Somebody make a video games. Game development was the worst thing I ever did, says Sue. Hold. Ugh, God, it was right in my eyes. Anyways, I feel that. I think. Aww. This is sweet. This is sweet sentiment, Ram. I'm trying to remember the last time I did work for free, willingly. God, I love how bright my shirt looks right now. Everything sounds good in this sound, turns out. This song's fun now. This song's gotten fun. Can you try Chocolat in this sound? I don't remember the chorus of Chocolat. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna relearn that song because people like that song. People like that song. I gotta relearn it. True things, Ram. I gotta relearn it. I don't use Discord, says Stu, but I probably should. I didn't either, but I'm trying to use it more and more every day. I'm trying to integrate it into my life. God dang. Suit's got some takes on games. I've requested this song a bunch. But Omni always says the same thing. I didn't write that song. I didn't write that song. The only part of the song that I can play is the bridge off of memory. But I can't remember the first two chords of it. I've said this story a lot. Some people are bored by this story. I'm going to say it again. The way that song was made is I went to Tom's place and Tom was working on drums and I sat down on a keyboard that Tom has and I played a chord progression. Think of it like a morning medley. I was just like messing around. I was like, I was doing a lot of that. And then Tom was like, oh, those ones sound cool. And then Tom was recording MIDI the entire time and then just like took those chords and then started building drums around it. And I was like, oh, sick. And then we played Smash Bros. For, I don't know, 4 hours. And then I was like, I'm ready to go home. And then Tom drove me to the subway. And then I took the subway back to the greater Los Angeles area. And I don't remember. And then, Tom sent me a partially finished version of the song. And I did the bridge, because I was like, the song needs a bridge. And that's when I did the bing bing bang 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 bing bing bang 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 bing bing bang 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 bing bing bang bing 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 bing. What comes after bing bing? Bing bing bang 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 bing bing bang. Yeah, there it is. Oh. I guess I do remember the bridge of this song. I don't remember the first part. Can you play Smash Bros? Not winning any competitions anytime soon. Not winning any competitions anytime soon, that's for sure, Cypher. I main Pikachu. I have since the dawn of Smash, and I don't know if Pikachu's gotten better or worse. I think I've played Smash on the Switch a grand total of maybe 10 hours since that game has released. I just don't really play it. I don't have a Switch, and usually when people ask me to play it, I don't want to. But Tom phrased it. Tom was like, "Do you want to play Smash or do you want to play Tetris?" And I was like, "Oh, Smash, I guess, because I do not want to play Tetris." Lesser of two evils, I suppose. I don't really enjoy that game though, Smash, so much. I like Melee and Brawl, but anything after, my eyes can't comprehend all the way. Interesting, Alpha. Suit says I never progressed after school for it. I went to college for it during a time Flappy Birds and the Xbox 360's like PlayStation Eye thing was announced. This was a while ago. I have slowly started liking games again, but now I am in university for pharmaceutical development and pharmacology, so maybe you don't have a lot of time for gaming, which is admirable. I'll play IRL if one of my friends is playing, but the online play is toxic. Yeah, I don't want to play fighting games online. I don't want to play fighting games online. I have actually learned something about myself, guys. I've learned something. I'm black, actually. Turns out. No, I've learned that I don't like playing online games unless they're team-oriented. Like, if I don't feel like at least I have, like, a homie in the game, I really don't like playing. Like, I don't like playing, like, I don't want to play Street Fighter online. I don't really want to play, like deathmatch style games online. I like games, I enjoy games like, Overwatch or Apex Legends because you were, like, part of a squad, like, you had a team. But I think that when it's just, like, me against, like, somebody else, like, for some reason it's not fun for me. There's a game called Dead by Daylight, and I never play as the killer. I always play as the survivors because they have, like, a team. And the killer is by themselves, like, trying to kill all the humans. And I don't know. I've never, I don't know. Anyways, I need homies in the game, says Cyber. Word. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's made me feel like a baby. I think one of the reasons that I do enjoy, like, I'll play something competitive, but I need people on my team. I like team things. I like being a part of a family. It feels good. I loved Guilty Gear, says Suit. Yeah, Guilty Gear's fun. Fighting games are so unfun to play with a skilled guy because there's people who are trying to learn. Oh, yeah, I mean, it can be rough, playing a game. Like, I've been on both sides of that. I'm really good at Third Strike, and so I've definitely played Third Strike against people who weren't very good, and it wasn't fun for either of us. It was, like, not fun for me. It wasn't fun for them. Yeah, it wasn't really fun for anybody, I suppose. What was I saying? I can't even hear. I'm trying to hear what's it called in my head. I'm trying to hear Chocolat in my head. I've never felt what I feel for that song in my catalog before. I've never felt that. I'm trying to think. Dun, 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 dun. That's so funny. I might work with Tom again, probably. Anyways, yeah, I can't hear it. All I can hear is the bridge, I guess. Good on me for having restraint. Guys, that song would have sounded very different if I took the reins on it, and you guys might not have liked it as much, so... I'm patting myself on the back for not turning it into, because even when I just now did this, I can feel myself wanting to go. I can feel myself wanting to, like, why style out and embellish more, but me being able to just stop on those 8 chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. No, that's not it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alpha feels gross. They should shower. Um, thanks, Ram. Thanks, Ram. You, me, Vogue chic. I think that's the words. Oh. New York. Boom, 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 boom. Fashion Week. Boom, 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 boom. The secret. What is it? You want me to translate, or you want me to like just say? I mean, translate it. The song is New York Fashion Week. Do I even say Vogue in it? Oh, you're saying Vogue. Oh. You want to know the lyrics to that song? Lindsay, have you ever heard of a store called Uniqlo? That's what I'm saying. New York Fashion Week, Uniqlo chic. It's a song about broke people. It's a song about broke people who aren't allowed to participate in Fashion Week. There's a store from Japan called Uniqlo that's basically like Japanese H&M. And for a really long time in like 2019, I would refer to like when somebody was like, "What would you say your fashion is?" And I would say it's like Uniqlo chic. I just wear a lot of like flat colors with usually like really small graphics or like a little like animal drawn here or whatever. It's not like a lot of really cool designs because I buy most of my clothes from Uniqlo and like-minded stores, I guess. Uniqlo is Japanese, says Alpha. Uniqlo is Japanese, and so it's New York Fashion Week, Uniqlo chic. The secret, what is it? Uniqlo. My secret is Uniqlo. Anyways, yeah, those are the lyrics of the song. People are tripping because Uniqlo is great. Uniqlo is great, but it's like if you tell like your like flossy LA friends who are all like hype beast up that you shop at Uniqlo, like they're not exactly gonna clap you up. They're all like dressed in like Supreme and stuff like that, and you tell them like, "Oh yeah, this is a Uniqlo fit." And they're like, "Ah, okay." This fool shops at the mall. When you were in Japan, did you see anyone wearing clothes that mistranslated English on it? Absolutely. Also when I was in Korea. Also when I was in Hong Kong. Pretty common. Pretty common. Sometimes it was fun. Sometimes it was funny. Sometimes it was like not even funny. It was just so close to being right that it was more so like, "Oh man." Yeah. Swing and a miss. Barely though. That's fair. That's fair, Lindsay. I mean, that's fair. I don't want to offend any hypebeasts out there. All of my hypebeast. I don't think I have any hypebeast fans actually. I went to Uniqlo store in Taiwan too and got a sweater, and it's Asian sized, so it's way too small for me. Oh, I love that. Ooh, I love it. Here's what I don't like about Asian sized. When you get things larger, they don't seem to get longer. They just get wider. So, like, my stomach still shows, but the shirt is, like, this wide. Anyways, yeah, I empathize with you a little bit on that, Cyber. I definitely bought some clothes in Japan that fit me just a tiny bit tighter than I wanted them to. Just a little bit, not too much. I like things to be a little form-fitting. Like, even this shirt could be tighter. Could be tighter. Just reset my password so I have Discord. Can I get a link to the Discord? Says Sue. Oh, thanks, Sue. I've been saying it wrong for a year now. Sorry, Lindsay. I just never really thought I needed to do a lyrical breakdown of that song. Because the lyrics are so stupid and nonsensical. They don't there is no story. C'est secret, qu'est-ce que c'est? Yeah, I can hear it in my head now. I've only played that song live twice. Once in Los Angeles, once in Korea, and then I removed it from my live set. But maybe I'll re-add it once I finish all these other like disco-y, housey stuff. Maybe it'll fit better in the set. Who knows? Oh, you know what's funny about that, Lindsay? I texted Mia. I was like texting her all weekend. Usually when I'm in a bad mood, I'll text Mia. Usually when I'm in a good mood, I'll text Mia. If I'm just feeling any type of way, usually I'll text Mia. And I texted Mia, and Mia didn't respond because they're like in the middle of moving. And late last night, they gave me one text. I was like, "Oh wow, like miss you or something. We'll text you tomorrow." And I was like, I don't know that I've ever said that to anybody. I don't know that I've ever told anybody I would text them. Like, I've never set a time like, yo, I'll text you tomorrow about it. But anyways, she should text me a day. I have asked her for the lyrics several times. She usually laughs at me, but I'll press the issue if you would like me to. Chocolat is Easy, one of my favorite songs from the album. That is, like, wild. I can't say it enough. I'm tired of hearing my own voice say it. But that is wild that anybody likes that song as much as they like that song. And it's because of the way I feel about the song. I'm projecting my own feelings about the song onto the audience of it. Thank you, Kaz. I appreciate that a lot. I think, like I said, I always take the reins for production. I never let the other person take the reins for the production. And the reason that I don't do that is because a lot of other people work way slower than I do. So typically when I'm putting together an album or an EP and I give the reins to somebody else, it can be sometimes upwards of 15 months before I even get the song back. So usually I'll take the reins on it, and the other person is always like, oh, thank God, yeah, you're gonna do it, sick. I got other stuff I gotta do. And then I'll work on the song and I'll finish it. At the time that I made that song with Tom didn't have basically like almost any music out. And so he was working a lot on like getting things made, getting things produced, and getting things out. And it was nice to be able to kind of like let him raise and feed that song while I worked on all of the other songs from Quick Breath. Because I had to do all the main production on the Mia Gladstone song. I had to do all the main production on the Abby Press song. I had to do all the main production on, all of the other songs on the EP. So it was nice to be able to just hand that off to Tom. And so when the song came back, there was a certain level of artistic distance I felt towards Chocolat. I'm trying to think of another song I felt that level of distance from, but I don't think I have any. Maybe when I played in bands, and I would like propose an idea, but then the band would kind of collaborate and do all the rest of the work. And then when the finished product came, I was like, it was kind of like that shake and bake and I helped commercial thing, where it's like, I definitely had input in the shake and bake. But when I heard it felt foreign. It felt foreign to me. And so, especially after I removed it, because I don't listen to my own music, so a lot of the way I experience my own music is by performing it. And since I removed Chocolat from my live show after the show in Seoul, I just haven't heard it that much, so it feels distant, Hello, David. Welcome to the Morning Medley stream. We're getting ready to close up here, actually. We have finished our 2 hours, but I was answering some last-minute questions and trying to figure out what the initial chord progression to... figure out what the initial chords were, right, you guys? There were initial chords, right? I'm not crazy. than that chord if I had spent more time with it. It would be like. That would have been so pretty. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Do you have the production files, or does Tom have those? The interesting thing is I do have the production files, because I have opened it up actually in a production stream. I opened up that song when I was explaining, like, I was showing people visually what Tom did versus what I did, and you could see what Tom did because they were all waveforms, and you could see what I did because they were all in MIDI form. And so I have opened it up in a Friday stream. I could do it again if people want to hear it again, but no, I do have the production files. I would say that I have the finished song. Tom doesn't actually have the finished version of the production files. I just didn't feel like he wanted them. But, I mean, if he wanted them, I could send them to him. Because the way the song went was I wrote the chords at his place, he did the production, sent me the production files, I added to the production, sent him not the project, but sent him the waveform so he could hear what the song sounded like, and he was like, this sounds sick. I packaged it up, sent it on its way for release and distribution. I must have been away when you did that. I need to find that recording. Word up. I mean, I can do it again, Cyber. I can do it again, maybe this Friday. You could always make a morning medley adaptation to Chocolat. Yeah, I don't remember the initial chords, though. Yeah, I don't remember the chords. Alrighty, this Friday, if I remember. Thank you, Cyber. Thank you. Guys, I have a lot of music out. One thing's called Signals, it's jazzy. The other thing is called House of Omni, it's collaborative. The other thing's called Tall Tales, it's more experimental. It's got some like piano music on it, but it also has some like wonky synth stuff on it. Some of it's like mysterious or sad sounding. And then I have The Nice Dream, which is pop music. I have Love Dream, which is love music. I have Speed Dream, which is really fast, speed racer type beat. And then I have Daydream, which is orchestral break beats and drum and bass. And then I have Lush Dream, which is like chill, laid back beats on top of like Rhodes piano and stuff. After the Nice Dream whole like saga, I guess, ending with Lush Dream for now, ended, then I started a twin EP called Quick Breath Ego Death. I split it into two halves and I released them as Quick Breath and Ego Death. Quick Breath is more of a varied release of mine, where there's like pop on it, there's R&B on it, there's house on it, where the song Chocolat that we're talking about in the stream comes from. And then the other half was very ambient, very sad, more reverby, a lot of wet synths, a lot of very, very soggy synthesizers on that one. It's called Ego Death. I provided vocals for both, but I also had some guest vocals from Young Skirt on Ego Death, some guest vocals from Abby Press, and Mia Gladstone on Quick Breath. Those can be found on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Group, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube, which also hosts quite a bit of exclusives that I've made, like the Quarantunes playlist. Please listen to it. Enjoy your shower alpha. Ooh, Pineapple's pretty cool. Ooh, Pineapple's pretty cool. I don't know why. It makes me think of butts, though. Okay, this song is called Hush Hour. I wrote it while I was abroad on my last tour. Oh, that was my last tour. Sad. here. I will be back tomorrow. For Morning Medley number 257. What is this? We're 260. Oh my god. 300's getting closer. 300's getting closer, and I'm not ready. I haven't figured out what the heck season 3 even looks like yet. Oh god, it's gonna be here. It's gonna be here before we know it, guys. I really got to nail down exactly what this is going to be. Really quickly about that, the floor is always open. I'll try to remind you guys as much as possible, just in case you guys have things that you want to mention that you do like or you don't like about season 2, that you want to see changed, or that you don't want to see changed. You want to see more consistency in whatever the thing is, or whatever. Point is, it's open. The floor is open. Man. The floor is open. I will be in my own time also making changes to the Google document that shares that has all of the changes, the suggestions and stuff like that. I'm also adding like my own column of like Omni suggestions for changes in the stream. The thing is, a lot of the what I'm hearing from a lot of the suggestions from people, if I'm going to boil them down to a few simple points, which isn't fair, but if I'm going to generalize them into simple points, it's that the Monday through Thursday stream, people want more production for the Monday through Thursday stream. It seems to be the like overall mood. People want more production from the Monday through Thursday stream. A lot of the Friday streams are things that I want to change. I have more of a column of Omni things that I want to change about the Friday stream, but people seem to be more so about more production for the Monday through Thursday stream, some of which is more so of an organization thing, and some of which is a thing that's going to take more money and time. And the thing that I've said in previous streams is that if I'm going to be putting more time and money into the production stream, it has to come from somewhere, right? Like, you can't make things out of nothing. You got to make something out of something. And so if I'm going to be adding more production to the stream, it's probably going to come at the cost of streams, period. So instead of there being 5 a week, maybe 2 a week or 3 at the most, if I'm going to be putting a lot more production into the Monday to Thursday stream. That is the thing that I don't particularly want to do, but is a thing that I think eventually will have to happen anyway. And so I'm considering that for season 3. I, again, do not want to do that, but I am considering it. Yes, this says, I like having Monday through Thursday be a chill convo spot and Friday be more strictly serious music talk. Oh, noted. Noted, Diz. I kind of like that too. I feel like Monday through Thursday is more of a conversation because my eyes aren't particularly stimulated by anything. A lot of time when I'm playing piano, I'm not even looking, and I'm like looking at the chat. Sometimes I'll get like lost in the moment, but for the most part, I am reading and talking to you guys. Sometimes on the Friday stream, between like tabbing through a bunch of different stuff on like keyboards and junk like that, I actually don't even get to see the stream, or the stream will just completely die. And when I say die, I just mean nobody will be talking yet. There will be like 12 people in the chat, but just no one saying anything in the stream. And so, it is different. It is different. And it is different. It is different. And I appreciate the people even for being in there, Cyber, and I'm glad that you're in there and you like vibing to the music. I'm glad. But it is definitely a different type of stream. Whereas this feels more like an interactive podcast. The Friday stream feels more like a, production with an audience. And so, I have thought about that, considered that going into season 3, if that's what that means. Maybe it's unfeasible. Maybe I can't afford to get another sick camera, for this stream, because and make production better, Maybe it just ends up being too much for me. I don't know. But in any case, I am taking a lot of things into consideration, and I am going to start having to pull the trigger on a few, figuratively, I am going to start having to pull the trigger on a few different choices pretty soon here if they're going to be done and prepared by the time we hit 300, or more accurately, 301. Mm. I mean, that is a thing that's on the, Lindsay, that is a thing that's on the suggestions. You were in there when somebody said that. Apologies, because I don't remember who did. Maybe it was Cyber, but somebody was talking about phoning in, being able to have people actually talk and participate during either the Monday through Thursday ones or the Friday ones. I don't know exactly how that would look. I don't know exactly how that would look, but I have considered that, and it is on the docket. It is on the docket of things, and so yeah, and that is where the interactive podcast joke came from, because I was like, oh, it'd be like an interactive podcast, but I'm thinking about it. I'm just saying that I am going to probably have to start implementing some changes, or at least building towards them, right? Like if, let's say, this is all hypothetical, but if, then I really do got to get out of here, guys, because I'm hungry. But this is all hypothetical. But if I needed to get a new camera, right, for like in a capture card and all that stuff, I would probably need to start looking at and pricing out things like by Morning Medley 270 if I was actually going to implement those things by 301 like I want to. So I am trying to like get a framework, like a picture of what season 3 looks like. Because the thing is, if season 3 ends up being less streams, like 2 streams a week, that means that season 3 is going to last a very long time. More than double what these past 2 seasons have felt like. Like 100 streams, 100 morning medleys goes by pretty fast because we just burn through 5 a week. We're burning through so many. It's like, what is that, like 20 a month? And so it's really only 5 months per season, which is, not unheard of. It's like a TV show, a little bit shorter than a TV show. But if we start going to 2 streams a week, that means that season 3 is going to last a very long time. And so I want to make sure a lot of these changes, if it ends up getting shortened, that this is all hypothetical, but I want to make sure that some of these changes, if we end up getting shortened, are going to be things that I'll be comfortable with doing for that length of time before we hit season 4 and I can implement changes again. I just want to have more organization over changes. I don't want the stream to feel inconsistent, so I would like to implement changes only once we get to like 100, once we've knocked out 100. So at stream number 400, we could change more things, but I do want to have 300's method and pattern feel a little bit consistent. I'm not a fan of reducing number of streams. Maybe you could just reduce the time back down. 10 streams a week, 10 streams a week. Yeah, this is all conjecture. Conjecture? This is all hypothetical, guys. But I do hear you. Because I don't even necessarily like that. The stream, last thing, guys, last thing. The stream has become an integral part of my schedule. And that doesn't mean that my schedule will crumble without it, but I'm saying it happens in a very specific pocket, post-workout and before shower and breakfast. It's in that pocket. It's not very movable. I can't do the stream before my workout because I would be streaming so early that you guys probably wouldn't even be here. And then I can't stream after breakfast because if I'm streaming after breakfast, that's pushing my work schedule back because I do work after I eat breakfast. So it happens in a very specific time for me, temporarily, like literal time. It happens in a very specific time, 9 to 11-ish. I mean, we're getting close to noon right now, but it happens in a very specific time. And so making the stream shorter wouldn't really do much. Most of the labor of the stream is that it exists at all. And if I'm upping the production, Liana and company, it means that I would be setting up and breaking down things every day. Setting up this, because right now the setup is very, very quick and easy. I got a little tripod, I got my phone, I got a little platform that I put the tripod on. I have my laptop over here, or sometimes over here for my monitor. It's like an easy setup. But if I'm setting up like a capture card, a mixing board, a microphone, like cables and stuff like that, it could be a little bit more time consuming. It's not something that I'm going to want to do every single day. Breaking up, setting down, wrapping up cables, putting them away. So I will consider that. I know that bumping the streams down to being less, like 2 a week, it would be rough. Um, a jarring change for sure. So I'll think about it. These are two extremes, right? Amazing production and way less streams. One of each a week, and then the production where it is right now, where I'm doing four live morning medleys. Okay. Goodbye, Diz. Goodbye, everyone, actually. I want to thank everybody for being polite to each other and respectful to me. I hope to see you in tomorrow's stream, 2:57. I will be here. I'll probably be tired if I'm being honest. I'll probably be a little tired, but I will be here. I'll be active. And until then, I will be in the Discord like I was this morning or at some point yesterday. I gotta make a smoothie too. Freaking hungry. Abo, everybody. Oh, I know I'll be tired, Lindsay, because I have a really big project that I need to work on tonight. And I'm going to be up pretty late because I have to get in by a certain time, and it's Japan, so time zone stuff. I can't do it when I can't. I'll be up pretty late tonight. Anyways, abo, everyone. Oh, crap, I forgot to turn it off, didn't I? Uh-oh. No, turn off. What are you doing? Everybody leave, quick. Why can't I see anything? The whole screen's black.